Hey Henry, what are you playing? Hi Tao, I'm playing Dungeon Antiqua. Wow, it sure does look like Final Fantasy. Shh, don't say weird things. Oh, okay. Wow, it sure does look like it plays a lot like Wizardry. Tao, don't say weird things. It's Dungeon Antiqua. Okay, jeez. Final Fantasy Wizardry Mashup!
So I just started playing Dungeon Antiqua, and I love it. And I mean, what's not to love? Just look at these graphics. This is 1000% my aesthetic, and 1000% Final. I was just made aware of this title thanks to Brendan from The Crawl. Thank you, Brendan, and please go follow his channel. He has loads of great videos on DRPGs. This game immediately hits you with the 8-bit nostalgia hammer. All joking aside, it really does have an NES Final Fantasy style to it, and the gameplay has a very wizardry vibe to it. I think this is a great combination. You have the sweet milk chocolate flavor of Final Fantasy with the peanut buttery goodness of wizardry. The game starts with a text crawl explaining that there is a legend of 5 ancient relics being enshrined within a dungeon. If the 5 relics are retrieved and brought to the bottom of the dungeon, you'll receive an incredible prize. That prize is honor. I mean, I'd have preferred gold coins, but hey, I guess the real gold coins are the friends we made along the way. When starting the game, you'll be able to choose from 4 starting classes: Fighter, Thief, Priest, and Mage. This is a pretty solid lineup, and you can make a load of different combinations of teams. But I went with the suggested Fighter, Thief, Priest, and Mage. That's right, I said suggested. Dungeon Antiqua has an optional navigation assistant, Navi if you will, in the form of a helpful fairy. This is a really good option for people who haven't played a wizardry like before, and I will circle back to my thoughts on this a little bit later. As your characters gain levels, they will get stat increases, and when they get to the right amount of stats, they can change class. Just like wizardry. Most modern RPGs with class changes or character promotion will give you the option to change class at level 10 or 20 or whatever, but the wizardry way is based on stats and not on level. After you create your team, you'll be splatted right in the middle of town without any fanfare. Just like wizardry. From toe to tip, that's a wizardry. Town has a number of things that you can do, including going to the pub to arrange your current units, the shop for buying weapons and armor and items, the church for resurrecting and healing your dudes, training for creating new characters, and the entrance to the dungeon for when you're ready to get stomped into paste by goblins. After you sort your dudes out, you get to enter the dungeon. This first area is a very well constructed training area. This short preface area will teach you all about navigating the top-down dungeon. And yes, the dungeon is top-down and not first-person like wizardry. This leads to a very cool hybrid feel of both top-down RPGs and DRPGs. You have that classic top-down navigation, but you have stuff like a vision cone, fog of war, floor traps, hidden doors, trap chests, and your mom. Combat is real simple, but real good. You've got traditional side view JRPG fare, baddies on the left, good guys on the right, your first 3 characters are front row, and your 4th and 5th characters are back row, so this is a good place to put your priests and mages. You can attack, cast spells, run, use items, and your priest can use Dispel, which is this game's version of Turn Undead. There is nothing particularly flashy or innovative about combat, but it sure does move forward at a nice clip. In fact, the game in general moves at a very nice pace. You can finish it in 4 or 5 hours. This short runtime ensures that you are constantly leveling up, getting new gear, getting new spells, finding new enemies to fight, and moving down to new floors.
Wow, this combat sure is speedy. Super speedy. Mega turbo fast. Okay, Tao, that's enough. Just calm down. But I only just started and I'm already on floor 2. Yes, I'm very proud of you. You're doing really well. Wait, did you make a team of 5 mages?
As you progress through the dungeon, you will notice both silver doors and gold doors. Not so surprisingly, you will need to find the silver key for the silver doors and the gold key for the gold doors. Behind the silver doors, you will find the 4 prophesized ancient relics, which you will need to defeat in battle before acquiring. And behind the gold doors, you will find a very convenient elevator. As mentioned earlier, at the beginning of the game, you get to choose to enable a suggestion mode. This suggestion mode will activate your little fairy sidekick who will explain the ins and outs of the game as you traverse forward. She will explain how you can set up your party, along with offering to set up the party for you. She will explain how shopping works, along with offering to purchase suggested items for you. She will also give you details on the dungeon and battles. And let me tell you, this is very cool. Dungeon crawlers can be a little bit daunting, not just for new players, but old schoolers alike. Having this extra little bit of help can really make a difference for a game like this. This, along with the easy-to-navigate dungeons, thanks to the overhead perspective, is a really good introduction to this type of game. In fact, I would go so far as to say that this is one of the best examples of a beginner-friendly DRPG that I have ever played. You have the suggestion system, a familiar and easy-to-parse overhead map system, very fast and to-the-point combat, a grind-friendly dungeon, and framing it in the old-school Final Fantasy style can get new players familiarized very quickly. Now, there is still some danger in this game with traps that hit hard, battles you might not be ready for, party wipes leaving you to scramble to rescue marooned team members, ramping costs for resurrection, and optional bosses that will obliterate you. The danger is still there, but Dungeon Antiqua helps prepare you for it. Also, these chiptunes fucking rule. So yeah, Dungeon Antiqua came out of nowhere, bowled me over, and is one of my favorite games to be released this year. Roll on Dungeon Antiqua 2. He's gotta make it, right?
Wow, Henry, Dungeon Antiqua is really fun. I thought you'd like it, Tal. But I'm confused about one thing. Oh? And what's that? Why is it called Dungeon Antiqua when it's so new? What? It's called Dungeon Antiqua, but it only came out a couple of weeks ago.
I just released a new album. It's called Lifelong Death Wish. It's black metal for depressed people. Go and give it a listen, if that's your sort of thing. Goodbye.